Alrighty, people. How you doing? How you living? How you feeling? I apologize for the tardiness, but that's Dynasty football. We're just fashionably late. You guys are just a little bit early, so no, we do apologize. Styles, I thought was funny. He said Zach is negotiating in leagues for Bucky Irving as we speak, and I'm not gonna lie, I did get a trade done for Bucky Irving today, but that was not the reason I was late. But here is the trade in case anybody's curious. This is over in the golf league. I sent away the 112 and Jamison Williams for Bucky Irving, current reigning champion, trying to go back to back, needed help at running back, and I got my king, Mr. Bucky. But we do appreciate you guys for being here in the chat. What's up, Jerry? What's up, Fizzle? It says, one of the most consistent, salute the grind and hard work. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. DT says, no place I'd rather be on a cold Wednesday night. We got Artie in the building, Wyatt here, Blizzard, Macy, Booty Clap King is clapping them booties. Blizzard, Travesty, Wyatt. We've got Michael in the building. We've got Jai in the building. We've got Hiking and Holmes in the building. We've got Scribbles. We've got Ryan. We've got Dominic, Buster, Connor, Jordan. Okay, I love that, Macy. Let's get a deal done, brother. I sent a deal to him. I love that, Sparrow. What's up, Connor? Drusiv, The Roll, Jack, Mostly. What's up, guys? Welcome in. We appreciate you guys for being here. We're going to have a fantastic night on today's stream. This is a two-parter on today's stream, and the first part is a Dynasty startup mock draft with rookies, 2025 rookies. The second part is reviewing people's Dynasty teams and getting them their team playbooks, their Dynasty playbooks, an absolute game plan for their offseason. So we do appreciate you guys being here with us. We do have a like goal today of 100 likes on the stream. We're already halfway there, and we've just started. You guys are incredible. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. But we are going to be doing a mock draft. So, Badaki, there are going to be people who are watching this, and they would like to practice with us. They'd like to get into this mock draft. How can they get in themselves?
Absolutely. Join our Discord. That link's in the description. I'll put that link in the chat right here, right now. If you join our Discord, go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, and then go to announcements. That's how you can join each and every mock draft, whether you are watching now or later. Okay, it is first come, first serve. And that's it, really. Okay, and let me just say this. If you are going to join a mock draft right now and you're saying, I'm going to join this mock draft, but I got to go in 5 minutes, don't join. Or I'm going to join this mock draft, I'm going to join in, and then I got to do something in 10, 20 minutes. Don't join. Okay? Because normally mock drafts goes a little bit longer than 10, 20, 30 minutes.
Let them know.
Okay? So sit aside one.
Be accountable.
And I'll send this link out to you, okay? Because I will call you out.
Yeah, he'll call you out. He's not
3,
scared.
2, 1. America. Even though, hey, America.
All right. I was like, please, God, don't go into that. What's up, D-Stone in the building? All right, this is going to get filled up pretty quickly, but it is a 12-team Superflex, PPR, tight end premium, let's say 0.5 mock draft here. Now, if you'd like to draft a rookie, that's why the kicker position is there. Just draft the kicker. Tell us what rookies you want to draft, and we will make it happen, Captain. We'll make that happen. All right, here we go. Starting this thing in 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds on the clock. And I need to get out my Superflex rankings so I know exactly what I'm doing. As Jaden Daniels, the rightful heir to the 101, comes off the board. As he should. We in there like swimwear, style says. Then comes Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Macy's on the clock. Macy, if you have to give this one to Otto and then look at the trade, for Bucky Irving, just that's fine, dude. I'm fine with that. We can have a conversation around Bucky if we need to. And then we see Burrow, Chase off the board. Oh wow, I just saw the trade I sent you. That's an absolute blockbuster.
Absolute blockbuster, kid.
Chase is off the board. Jonesy's off the board, or Jonesy's on the clock right now. He goes Justin Jefferson. And now Chaboy's on the clock.
And you Jeremy Jackie.
It's an interesting spot to be in. I feel like Jalen Hurts is a screaming value at this point. So I'm going to grab Jalen Hurts at the 107.
Oh, Styles, send that link in the Discord to that draft that you guys are in. Oh, actually, I actually might still have it. Hold on.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Why it is a first come first serve basis here as CeeDee Lamb comes off the board. Thoughts on Dynasty with salary cap? That's my league. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? However you guys play, as long as you're playing the game, you're doing it right. You know, I mean, there's always this battle in the comment sections between one quarterback and super flex formats. Everyone, you know, is believing that their format is the right one. We don't mind if you play one quarterback, super flex, IDP, salary cap, whatever you know gets you playing Dynasty and having fun. That's the right way to do it. Ryan says, hey guys, quick question: how much one quarterback content do you think you'll end up doing this offseason? A moderate amount of it. I mean, full transparency, the one quarterback content we release just never does well, and we do it not to grow our channel, but we do it just to show love to the one quarterback community. You know, so. So yeah, I mean, we'll do it a moderate amount. I mean, to be honest, most of the content that you have seen us put out has been relevant for Superflex and one quarterback, you know? I mean, you look at all the videos we've put out. We've put out one Superflex mock draft, one quarterback, but the rest have been rankings on wide receivers, quarterbacks, sleepers. So it's all been pretty relevant for both formats. I mean, we'll do our absolute best, but yeah, can't make any promises. All right, we do have our first rookie off the board here. Okay, I am surprised, but we do get Ashton Genty coming off the board before Bijan Robinson. Love both of these players. Love both of, you know, their futures and what they will do for fantasy for your Dynasty team. I definitely think you could put Ashton in the same tier as Gibbs, but as Bijan, but I am surprised to see Genty go ahead of Bijan there. There goes Bijan Robinson. I was gonna say how far is he gonna fall. I mean, I'll draft him if you guys aren't gonna.
Well, I think a lot of people would like Ashton Genty over Bijan. Not saying I would, just saying I think that's gonna be a conversation. Sure. Depending on the landing spot, people are gonna be like, oh, Bijan or Genty to the Cowboys, Genty to the Bengals, Genty to this team. And then people are going to just love that landing spot more because of the usage here. But
yeah, I'll grab Malik Neighbors there at the 206. I feel like that was a steal as well to get Neighbors there that low. Does that mean that? So wait, let's think about this then. Does that mean it's consensus to have Ashton Genty ahead of Neighbors? Like, would people trade Neighbors for the 101? Because I don't think I'd be willing to do that. I just want to hear the community.
Yeah, fair.
As CJ Stroud comes off the board, Jonesy, don't tell me you're already out of the building, brother. Jonesy's about to get roasted.
Jonesy. Okay, Jonesy.
Okay.
He's back. He
was probably looking at rankings. By the way, we did get a super chat from Jay Ferrari. Shout out to Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Hamilton, in his first Ferrari debut, if you will. It looks clean. It looks nice. It looks historic.
Yeah, it does.
It says 8-team, 2 quarterback, super flex, tight end premium, 2 points per reception. Send my neighbors Achane, Laporta, Bryce second. Holy hell. For Bijan Bowers first and 5th, 27 second. Won it this year, by the way. Thoughts? All right. I think you can put Neighbors and Bowers in a similar tier, but I prefer Neighbors from a team building perspective, but it is tight end premium and it is eight teams, so maybe that leans Neighbor or Bowers. It's close. I prefer Bijan over Achane, but it's close. It's a 8-team league, so Bryce Young is not as valuable as he would be in a 10 or 12-team league.
It is super flex though.
It is super flex. I don't know. What does the chat think? That seems pretty fair.
Yeah, I think my biggest question to you, Ferrari, would just be, what's that quarterback room look like? Is Bryce Young like a top quarterback? You said you won it all last year. Probably not with Bryce Young. And especially, actually, in the 8-man league, you probably have so many quarterbacks, actually. So Bryce Young is probably just a random that you can a throw-in piece, essentially.
That's what I was thinking. Like we can't value Bryce Young that high in an 8-team league because
Yeah.
there's probably so many Bryce Youngs in that scenario.
All right, Brock Bowers also falls to the
I think
210.
that's pretty even. Where's the first projected? He said he already has Caleb, Drake, Kyler, T-Lot. Yeah, so honestly,
Yeah,
Bryce
that's
means nothing there. I'm fine with this. Actually, I'll take the Bijan Bauer side as with the premium.
Yeah, 100% with the premium. I mean, the fact that you're getting this right now, I guess it makes sense with having to send Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson's ADP is so funny. It's so funny to see him that high still.
Where did they have him on Keep Trade Cut out of curiosity?
He's got to have fallen drastically.
QB
tried to warn you guys.
My God, dude.
All right.
I was getting roasted.
Neighbors is off the board. I mean, I took Neighbors with my first pick, as I meant to say. Is London already drafted? Yes. How about JSN?
London.
Has anyone taken Jackson Smith and Jigba yet? No, I will take Jackson Smith and Jigba here as my wide receiver 2. Bowers was a real good value, by the way, at the 210 as well.
Yeah, I definitely liked it as well.
Start 19? Holy shit, that's crazy, dude. A start 19 league. That's got to be the biggest starting lineup we've ever seen. That's wild.
Yeah, it is kind of wild.
What's up, Brisbane? Yeah, I've been super confused by this narrative all offseason. Ever since I watched Luther Burden, I can't wrap my head around the people who talk about his route running. It doesn't compute. I don't understand why that's a concern for people, but it is, and I can't tell them they're wrong. It's their opinion. I don't understand their opinion, I guess. I just don't get it. By the way, we'll catch up to that Neighbors conversation. And the role's a great part of this community, so tell us the role, why you went Ashton Genty that high. Maybe you have certain conviction on him, but you got a great value with A.J. Brown there. Holy hell. But we've got Styles who says Neighbors. Williams says Neighbors ahead of Genty. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. William says Bijan's their RB1 this year. Yeah, interesting. I mean, that is an incredible 3-4 turn for the role there to get A.J. Brown and T. Higgins. That's and you didn't get a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. To get those 2 guys, I mean, that's very, very impressive. So, a good recovery. Not that you had a bad start of your draft or anything, but good recovery. As Michael Penix comes off the board, I was definitely considering drafting Michael Penix with my next pick, so I like that a lot. And then we also get Tet McMillan coming off the board at the 311. So this would put Tet ahead of A.J. Brown, ahead of T. Higgins. That's a little surprising, no? I mean,
this is really baffling me. I have no idea where to go. I was gonna go Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Let's go Rome.
Okay, Rome Odunze off the board. I like it.
Punt the position.
Jared Goff comes off the board.
Nobody work harder.
Brock Purdy. All right, I was probably going to take Baker Mayfield here, so I'm going to go ahead and just lock him up and get my quarterback 2 there. Starting off with 2 quarterbacks, 2 wide receivers in this super flex format.
Gonna get better.
Wyatt says, been watching some other content creators, and several of them have been dropping Burden to the 107 to the 109. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's just because of the route running, Wyatt. Is that what the
Probably they're
conversation?
gonna knock him because of the production this year. I think that's what I keep hearing from people. They keep saying, "Well, it's not excusable" or something like that. And they say, "Well, Ted McMillan didn't have good quarterback play, yet Ted McMillan played with his best friend growing up." It's like, okay, dude, chill out. By the way, be a friend, guys. Hit that like button. We got a like goal of 100 likes. We are 30 likes away from hitting that goal. You guys are incredible. We appreciate you. Dylan says, Purdy going behind Lawrence would be hard to take over, but it's only because of contract extension. Yeah, I thought Lawrence was drafted a little too high for my liking. In fact, every quarterback that came off the board after Lawrence, I'd probably rank ahead of him. And that's not to be harsh or to be anti-Trevor. I just think he's... You know, he's going to have better seasons for sure. He just can't stay healthy right now, and those guys are all just a little bit safer and more intriguing to me at this point.
And everything that's happening over there is a bit reverse as well. Like,
yeah,
they fire their head coach, they do interviews, and then you know what? Fire their GM. It's like, dude, what's going on here?
A while ago, to be honest. But at least they finally got it right.
Yeah.
All right, J.J. McCarthy comes off the board. I really like that pick as well. Kyron Williams coming off the board there. Chris Olave, who was definitely on my radar. DJ Moore's already gone at the 501. You know, Jack asked the question, thoughts on Caleb and Bears players after the Ben Johnson hire, and I think we were already holding all of our Bears, and now it's just
now
even more conviction in holding.
Yeah, I think now it's just going to be impossible to buy anyone.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to buy a Roma Dunze anymore at this point.
Yeah, before the hire, it was like, go get Roma Dunze, go get these guys. Go buy Caleb on the low. I think a lot of people are just going to... I mean, Caleb at the 112 feels incredible right now.
Yeah. All right, I have an idea for my next pick, but I just don't know what's going to be available to me. Bryce Young comes off the board. I've got a couple ideas at wide receiver, but I think I want to get into this tier of running back here, which is Johnny Taylor. So we're going to grab Johnny Taylor at the 507, our first running back. Long-term extension, won a lot of people their championship in the playoffs. I mean, honestly, I think there's a better future for Jonathan Taylor when we don't have Anthony Richardson back there. So,
already, man. Already. I mean, no way you should sell Anthony Richardson. That's tremendous talent.
You can tell the people still live in our heads rent free.
Yeah, for real.
Anger.
I'll take Tua here. I think it was just very consistent about like how they were all thinking about Anthony Richardson, and anyways.
Yeah.
If they don't draft Dynasty, I think they will take Henderson and Junkins. That is a hot take, Connor. I guess that means they would have to be 2 picks apart or 2 rounds apart, which I guess makes sense. But I don't think Henderson is going to get outside of like the middle of the 2nd round. What's the Bears 2nd round pick? Let's see.
Okay, so by the way, at the 511, we had Burden come off the board, which is disappointing because that was definitely my plan for the next round.
Okay.
But game, respect, game, brother. Good move. And then after Luther Burden, who came off the board?
Shador Sanders.
Okay, so Shador Sanders came off the board next.
All right, let's get
And
another running back here. Let's get Jimmy. Let's get Jimmy Cook.
let James. Should we let him?
James Cook. Just let him cook.
All right, Dak Prescott. I thought that was such a good value there from Evie. I mean, what a team they're building there. With CeeDee Lamb, Wilson, Flowers, Purdy, Dak. I mean, that's a nice squad they're building up there. All right. I think it's time to take a rookie. I'm going to take a rookie running back.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And we will go ahead and do... I mean, it would depend on landing spots, but let's just assume Amarion gets the best landing spot in draft capital.
Amarion.
So we'll grab Amarion here as our RB2 right behind Johnny Tay. But obviously draft capital would determine exactly where I would go there.
Don't mind it. Don't mind it. Two rookies back to back here. Let's see what Jonesy's going. Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson off the board. I mean, yeah, it could have been either one of those names for either of us. So I think that makes a ton of sense. Depending on where they land and the draft capital they get, I could see either of those guys being the RB2. I mean, there's even another running back that I could see being the RB2 at this point.
And Mika.
Okay. Let's say maybe he comes off the board next. But Amike Buka comes off the board here. You know, really great postseason from him. He actually set a record for the most receiving yards of any wide receiver in Ohio State history, which is hard to believe. It's really hard to believe that he set that record, but apparently he did. And then Chuba Hubbard comes off the board. George Pickens off the board. Pickens seems like a pretty good value there at that point. Wyatt says, can you smell what James is cooking?
Come on.
Chasing Breakers, by the way, says a podcast that won't be named was suggesting trading May and a first for AR. Well, after May was starting. What? He says, got into a comment fight and unfollowed them. Uh-oh. Well, we're not going to expose anyone.
Name and shame. Name and shame.
We get a couple rookies off the board. We had Travion come off the board. Love that pick. I mean, to get Travion almost in the 7th round is crazy good value, especially I think he's a lock for a round 2 selection in this draft. So to get him that late is ridiculously good value. Welcome done. To New York. I was considering him, Caleb, and Amarion at my last pick, so I like it a lot, guys. After Travion, we had another rookie come off the board, and it is Quinshawn Judkins. So these big-name running backs, for the most part now in this class, the big names at least, off the board, as Quinshawn finds his place with team number 1. Then we saw Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, who could be an incredible steal, or if they draft a running back, could lead you to some regret there with the pick. All right, I need to think about my next pick here because I'm about to be up next.
Did this guy go off the board?
Has DK Metcalf gone? Yeah, he has. Terry just went. All right, I've been pretty consistently drafting this guy in our startups. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take Jerry Jeudy here. I'll take Jerry Jeudy off the board there at the 707 as my wide receiver 3. Big fan of him. We see Cam Ward, by the way, come off the board here. Yeah, did you see the report from the Titans today?
Yeah, we're not going to pass up on generational talent.
Yeah.
In reality, that could be Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, you know.
Yeah, as Tyler Warren comes off the board here. Yeah, I found that comment very, very interesting because to me, with all due respect, that does not say quarterback in this class. I haven't heard anyone say there's a generational quarterback prospect in this class. Let me actually look at that tweet. Actually, I don't know where it is. Hold on.
Take Jalen here.
I'm pretty sure that was
I mean, yeah,
it was Underdog who did it. Hold on, let me pull
I
it up.
personally don't think they're talking about a quarterback. I think they're gonna take Travis or Abdul, and then which
Hold on.
it's not that big of a deal. That means whoever is left at quarterback there.
Yeah, Titans president of football operations. We won't pass on a generational talent with the first pick in the NFL draft. That does not scream we are drafting a quarterback. You know, that's kind of screams the opposite to me, I think. So
yeah, that's going to be that's definitely going to be Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I was thinking Travis or Abdul. I think it's one of those guys. I don't see how it's not one of those names. As DeAndre Swift comes off the board, that feels... I'll be honest, like... And I love the role, by the way. Such a great part of the community. But I will not draft DeAndre Swift at any point on the board in any startup. He will not be on any of my teams. I do not see a scenario in which he is a long-term part of the plans for the Detroit Lions. I mean, this is not the... You know, if people are trying to sell it as, he's the Jahmyr Gibbs for Ben Johnson. No, he's not. He's the guy they're going to replace at some point. He's the DeAndre Swift. How about that? The Bears replaced DeAndre Swift to get their Jahmyr Gibbs. So I just think his job is in jeopardy. He was one of the worst starters in the NFL last year by far.
Yeah, just unlucky for Swifty, really.
Tyreek Hill seems like a pretty good value there. I'm going to take another rookie, and I'm going to take Colson Loveland here.
No, I took him already, brother.
You did?
Yeah. Check
Where?
the chat. At the 110. Or the A3, sorry.
Oh.
I'll put it in the chat.
All right. I'll take Matthew Golden then. All right, you took Loveland. Terrible pick, by the way. I mean, that's just such a dumb pick right there. That is just so stupid. You're going to regret that for a long time. I mean, Matthew Golden sitting right there, and this guy fucking drafts Colson Loveland. What a joke. Haha. No, great pick.
Mental.
No, I love it. I mean, to get Colson Loveland there in a tight end premium where he's probably going to get first-round draft capital, I like it a lot. But I will take Matthew Golden off the board. I did finish scouting Matthew Golden. I did finish scouting Alec A.O. Manor. I think I need to do an updated video with my rookie running back and wide receiver rankings because they have actually changed drastically as I continue to scout this class. I will say just overall, I am not Team Alec A.O. Manor. I'm just not.
Be careful.
I really don't understand the hype right now behind his name. And I will dive into that in a different video, but I am definitely Team Matthew Golden. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
As we see some pretty good values like CMC and Tyreek Hill in the 8th round, Sam Darnold in the 8th round, Mark Andrews in the 8th round. Some pretty good values coming off the board right here, right now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is kind of what happens when some of these guys didn't have the best year. Of course, CMC missed a long time. Where's the trust there, you know?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, I was going with 3 quarterbacks just in case. Just in case one of those mobile quarterbacks go down, you know, and Jaden Daniels.
You're preying on our downfall, and I love that.
I just want another RG3 moment. Just get him out the league.
I love that my team is a team people are preying on our downfalls for.
Just get him out the league.
If I'm not mistaken, Tyrone Tracy still available?
You gotta call on.
Is that right? So we're gonna take Tyrone Tracy here. That now gives our team 3 running backs: Jonathan Taylor, Hampton, Tracy. 4 wide receivers: Neighbors, Jason, Judy, Golden, and 2 quarterbacks with Hurts and Mayfield.
You gotta call on Tyrod. You know what? I'll take another rookie here. Future New York Football Giant, generational talent, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That's a good pick. Travis Hunter coming off the board. Or it genuinely could be the worst pick on the board.
Or
We have no idea.
It's actually so true. I've been saying it all along. All along.
We have absolutely no idea.
You can draft Travis Hunter, and well, actually, you're gonna draft Travis Hunter, and you won't know if he's gonna be a wide receiver going into week one.
I don't think. Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna be like, "Fuck, why should I draft Travis?"
Yeah.
You're actually not gonna know until week one. Just be prepared.
100%. Travis Hunter's already off the board, Steve.
Sorry, Stabby.
So we'll wait on that. What's up, Connor? He says, do you see any Jalen Polk and Matthew Golden, Zach? On tape, I feel like I see some similarities, but not sure. Like, honestly, I was not a very big Jalen Polk guy from the film. I was on a daily fighting our comment section who was telling me Jalen Polk was better than Jalen McMillan. I didn't understand it based off the film. Of course, the draft capital, he got higher draft capital and the better landing spot, I guess. But no, I don't see that, especially because I think Matthew Golden has some of the best ball skills in this class. Like, that guy's hands are so sure. He's making some ridiculous grabs, strong hands, through contact, with concentration. I mean, high pointing the ball. I think he's got some of the most sure hands in the class. So
oh, shit, I was in the clock.
I don't see that between them.
I'll take Michael Pittman.
But what I would also say is I see a ton of Brandon Cooks in this game. Young Brandon Cooks coming out, where he was just consistently putting up those 1,000-yard seasons. I think he could be one of the better number twos on a NFL team. Like, he'd be the perfect fit alongside Terry McLaurin, actually. I see a lot of T.Y. Hilton to his game. Emmanuel Sanders. I'm a huge fan of him. By the way, update on our like goal. We're only 3 likes away from 100, which is incredible. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the love and the support.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I am now on the clock, and I have literally no idea what to do. So I'm going to ask, is Chris Godwin still available?
No.
Okay. Then we will go to tight end. And we will take David Njoku. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at this point. What were the rookies that came off the board?
A couple rookies went off the board. Yeah, Cam Scatterboot.
He was the first.
The 9-11. Oh, too soon.
Yikes.
Ollie Gordon.
Yep. Okay.
At the 10-1. I saw a tweet today saying I'm still believing in Ollie Gordon. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. I saw that from Bush.
Yeah.
No, look,
not giving up.
I got a ton of respect for people who see something that, I don't see. But I've already spoken pretty poorly about him, so I'm not going to continue to trash the guy. What was after Ollie?
Xavier Restrepo.
Okay. Restrepo is next.
And then we got another rookie just came off the board. Devin Neal.
Okay. I like that.
Let me find out the guy that I wanted at the 10-3 is going to come back to me.
Xavier Restrepo off the board.
Probably not. Zach might take him, actually.
Wait a second. Xavier Restrepo, then what?
Devin Neal.
Devin Neal, right. Okay.
At the 10-8.
Devin Neal comes off the board. I'm a big fan of Devin, so I don't mind that. I definitely think, as good as this running back class is, I definitely think there will be plenty of names that we are like, damn it, they got terrible draft capital and they're behind a clear starter. Like, there's going to be plenty of those names, and it's not going to be something that we are going to enjoy recognizing, but it's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Debo and Coker come off the board, which I love.
The Cokester.
Nick says, y'all have any my guys out there out of the draft other than the... Yeah, I definitely do. I don't want to say them right now because I want to draft them before anyone else does. But, yeah, definitely. In fact, on our rookie report, I have a list of 8 my guys.
I say check out the rookie report there on the Flock Fantasy website. Version 2 should be updated right after the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Calvin Ridley, pretty great value there, I'd say. As Koopy Cup also comes off the board. All right, so I'm trying to update my board. We had Cam go, then who? Devin Neal, Restrepo. Was that it?
Yeah. We got another rookie going here.
Ollie
Trey
Gordon
Harris.
also. Okay, Trey Harris comes off the board. Trey. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that there's not more hype around Trey Harris. Not that I really am obsessed with the guy, because I'm not. I just thought, based off of his analytics, because they're very good, and his body type, that there would be much more hype at this point. My wide receiver 5A is still available in this class, and that is Jalen Royals. So we're going to grab Jalen Royals off the board. Yeah, I don't see him not being a top 50 pick in the NFL draft. He's definitely going to be a top 50 pick in the NFL draft at this point. He's going to be at the Senior Bowl.
Right after you.
Who?
Jalen Milroe.
Jalen Milroe off the board.
And Dylan Sampson right off the board there as well.
And Dylan Sampson. I like Dylan Sampson a lot.
Let's continue with the trend of the rookies there. Let's go Jack Besh.
All right. Little Jack Besh to start your morning. I love it. Big fan of his game. In fact, I actually watched Savion Williams as well yesterday. He's got to be the most interesting prospect in the entire draft class. Like, genuinely. I'm not saying he's the best by far. I'm just saying, like, purely from an interest perspective, he is one of the most unique prospects in the entire class. The guy is 6'5", 220. He ran 22.5 miles per hour on GPS. He had like 6 touchdowns, I think 600 yards as a receiver, and then also ran for 300 yards, had 51 rushing attempts, 6 rushing touchdowns. The guy is maybe the best athlete in the entire class. Legit. Savion Williams might be the best athlete in the entire class. However, he's not a very advanced route runner. He doesn't really have any technique or nuance to his game in that area. And despite him having a high contested catch rate, he's not got the most reliable hands, in my opinion. He's kind of like Cordero Patterson. He's such a unique prospect. So it'll be really interesting to see what everyone thinks about him as Jaden Higgins comes off the board. I cannot wait to see what people think about Savion Williams. He's so intriguing to me.
Take Tony Pollard here. Another running back.
JCM is speaking my language. Jalen Royals, wide receiver 1, talk it up. Y'all know I love me some Jalen. As Kelsey and Pitts come off the board. Wow, I just clicked on the quarterback tab and it's disgusting.
I actually almost took Kyle Pitts there, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just in the 12th. Why not?
Maybe you should sell your soul and draft Kyle Pitts, is what you're thinking.
I have drafted Kyle Pitts once, and if you remember, I was like, I don't think we should be drafting Kyle Pitts that high.
And you did it.
I passed on him in every single Dynasty startup besides one, and it's the league and team that's absolutely shit. And nobody wants him now.
Nope.
Which is classic.
We're going to take Matt Stafford off the board as our quarterback 3. Did you guys see individual picks are on KTC now? No, I didn't see that. That's hilarious because I literally just prepped a video yesterday talking about these picks.
Oh, yeah, they are. So what's the 101 worth? Let's see. Brian Thomas for the 101.
What do they say?
Yeah, it's even. Patrick Mahomes for the 101 in the Superflex. Justin Herbert for the 101. Or the 101.
There's no way I'd give up Brian Thomas for the 101. That's crazy.
It says Brian Thomas is for the 101 this year. All right, let's try 105 out of curiosity. What's the middle of the pack looking like right now?
That would mean that they have a Monra valued at the 101, as well as they'd have Drake May less valuable than the 101. That's got to be right?
Let's see. Let me have a look.
They would have Drake May less valuable than the 101 based off of what you're saying.
Drake May.
By far. Wow.
Yeah. And you said a Monra as well?
A Monra's got to be like on point with the 101 if that's how they're viewing it, which is silly. Yeah, they say it's even value. Go send the 101 for a Monra. That's what the hell? There's no way anyone in a real Dynasty League is accepting that trade, by the way. I feel like the video I'm going to release next week is way more realistic than what KTC is saying right now. There's no way you're sitting the 101 in a league and someone's like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'll give you a Monra. I don't believe that.
Let's see what the 106 is. Middle of the pack. Michael Penix, Brock Purdy, Sam Laporta.
I feel pretty high on Laporta and non-tight end premium.
106.
Who are these rookies that went off the board here?
We have Jalen Higgins. I don't know if you saw that at
Jackson,
the 212.
Dart, and Fannin, right?
Yeah, and Fannin.
I don't have a Jackson Dart one still. That's on me, though. Harold Fannin comes off the board. I like that pick for show. I mean, it looks like J-Mac is stacking up these tight ends here.
Well, that's what I was going to look at this league. Let's see. Let's have a look at this Dynasty Land League. Let's see.
Which one?
I just want to see the update. The one that like Macy and Styles are all in.
Oh, yeah. Send me the link on Messenger.
Let me see. I just got it. I'm interested to see what they have here.
In this draft, Ashton went before St. Brown. Yeah, we talked about how we were shocked that he did, though, War Rocket. We were, like, very surprised to see it. We were very confused how he went ahead of the Puka Nakuas, the neighbors of the world. We were very, very surprised by that taking place. Not to say that we're right or wrong by that reaction, but anyway. You know, at this point, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Let's make this the last round, and I'm going to go ahead and grab Najee Harris. We'll grab Najee Harris there.
I don't mind it. I don't mind Najee. Ooh, Tajay. Tajay. Let's go with the Giants' future quarterback right here, huh? Oh. Oh.
No worries, War Rocket.
You can hear that in the screams. Been moving down like crazy. Style says, let's see. All right,
oh, yeah. Did you message him? Yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah, I sent it. Pretty similar, kind of, to what we just saw today. Where did Ashton go? So Bristleton, I'm assuming, has Ashton Genty at the 2-9. Jameer Gibbs, Ashton Genty, Bo Nix, Jared Goff.
Okay, here it is. So in this startup, we saw Ashton go at the 209. That was behind Brian Thomas, Stroud, Bijan, Herbert, Mahomes, May, Nix, Nakua, Amon-Ra. That feels more right to me. Like, that feels like the safe... I probably would take the 101 over Stroud at this point. But...
I actually don't think people are going to do that, though. Like, I think what we just saw here might be more realistic. Not because...
I just don't see why.
I think it's just purely because of the hype. There's going to be hype and location and draft capital. If he goes top 8 to the Bears, people are going to drool. And people are going to say, why wouldn't I take him over some of these other guys?
Yeah.
You know, people that had down year. CJ Stroud that just had down year. Patrick Mahomes that people still don't know. People like Drake May. But are they going to take... That's 3 spots already that I think people would argue. Just those 3 players alone. The rest is like, okay, I'd rather have BTJ. I'd rather have, you know, Amon-Ra still, which I agree with everyone.
Yeah. All right, this is Alec A.O. Manor. Which I don't think this is too high at all. I just laughed because I talked major shit on him earlier, and he comes off the board now. But no, I think he's. I mean, look, if you're drafting him alongside the names like Troy Franklin here, I think you're doing pretty well. No disrespect to your pick, but Troy Franklin has not really panned out the way we wanted him to.
No. I'm not mad at all.
I'm going to go ahead and take another rookie here, and I'm going to take DJ Giddens off the board.
Okay.
Really love this running back class. And honestly, guys, I think you could be getting major values if you're doing startups right now with this running back class. You know, getting names like Giddens really late in drafts, who could be a top 3-round pick. Names like Samson, your Devin Neals if they fall, you know, your RJ Harveys, Mononganais. I'm saying that wrong, but Brashard Smith, Woody Marks. Shit, Woody Marks was available. I didn't draft him. That's on me. We did get a super chat here from Matthew. What's up, Matthew? Appreciate the love. That's very kind of you, my friend. He says, Koalas, I'm going to start up 12-team tight end premium, pick 10. I have Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Nico, the 104, Tua, the 107. Quarterbacks left are Darnold, Geno, and Wilson. Do I take one of those pumpkins or rock with Chuba and Kittle or the 108? 12-team tight end premium. I'm assuming it's super flex. Quarterback, not your strength right now, is it? I mean, Darnold's going to start somewhere, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be in Minnesota. So that's, you know, that makes it a very difficult to evaluate him. I think the 108 is probably the most valuable piece here. I'd be curious to hear Badaki's thoughts. I'd love to hear the chat's thoughts here, but I think the 108 is probably the most valuable, flexible, movable piece here. That's no disrespect to Chuba or Darnold, but again, assuming it's super flex, I think the 108 is probably the most valuable asset you could take. And does that end up being Shedeur Sanders? Cam Ward? You know, I don't love this quarterback class, but do you take a shot on them if they go first round? Do you trade that for, you know, a Dak Prescott or, you know, a Trevor Lawrence? I think the 108 is probably the stickiest asset there, the most flexible asset over the next couple of months. And wow, Kenny, this I don't know why, but this hit me here. Man, I'm very sorry. Wow. I can't imagine life without my mom, and I really appreciate you for being here. And yeah, praying for your family, for peace and just the ability to move forward somehow, because that's a monumental loss, man. I appreciate you for being here. You did not have to donate, and I don't know, man. You know, oftentimes we don't. I think about it often because, you know, it seems silly telling people what I do for a living now. I talk about fantasy football. It seems ridiculous, you know. But the more I talk about it with my wife and with different people, I really feel like it goes beyond fantasy football. We create this space, at least I hope we create this space where you can come talk about one of your favorite hobbies and let the rest of your world kind of fade for a second. You know, it's this beautiful break from reality, to have fun and to just enjoy life. And I hope that we create that space for you guys. And I do think it goes beyond fantasy football. It goes beyond, you know, it's a community. It really is. I mean, I feel that so strongly with so many people in our community, people who have supported us for years and years and years when we had 100 subscribers. These names, we don't know what your faces look like, but we know your names, and it feels like a family at times. And anyway, Kenny, I don't know what to say other than thank you for being here, and to you and your family, I wish you guys nothing but the best moving forward. And I don't know how you move past that. I haven't had to deal with that. I think about it often, and it is like, I think maybe going to be the saddest moment of my life. So I can't imagine what that's like for you right now. And just hope that you have good people around you, a good support group around you, man, because that is absolutely devastating. I'm so sorry to hear that. But you know, we've got a ton of people here showing some love. War Rocket says praying for you guys. Condolences to your family from Styles. Same from Brisbane. We got Matthew coming in here and donating, saying we're here for you as a Dynasty community. So many people showing some love, and yeah, I feel like what we can offer is so insignificant, Kenny, but I appreciate you being here, man, and I hope we can continue to be an outlet for people where they can just relax and find joy in the simple things of life. So I appreciate you, man. And again, my condolences to you and your family. That's really tough. Yeah. Anyway, I really appreciate you being here. That's a toughie. But guys, we appreciate you so much. That was a very fun mock draft. I had a lot of fun doing that. Obviously talking through, you know, all these rookies and where they might go depending on draft capital, and how to value them amongst the rest of, you know, this class. I actually just recorded a video yesterday talking about what you could sell your 2025 picks for. And, you know, these mock drafts have been helpful in determining that. And I think there's you know, some great content coming out here soon for you. But all right, that was part 1 of the stream. Again, definitely appreciate all of you guys for coming out and contributing to this mock draft with these rookies. It was really fun. My team, we ended up with Hurts, Mayfield, Stafford. We also had Taylor, Hampton, Tracy, Najee, Giddens. We also had Neighbors, JSN, Judy, Matthew Golden, and Jalen Royals, and we ended up with David and Joku. Appreciate you guys for being here with us. We are going to transition the stream now over to the team reviews. All right, so we've got quite a few teams that we're going to review tonight. I think 3 that we'll get through here tonight, and yeah, just try and help people move forward this offseason with their Dynasty teams. Give them some direction on what the right moves might be for their team. Let me get these rookies off the board here. Okay, here we go. So we will go ahead and transition over and again, get to these team reviews. Now, if you guys are out there and you want your team reviewed, there's a couple ways that you can get it done. The first way is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I believe, Badaki believes, I strongly believe that this is the best bang for your buck if you are looking to get a team review. So again, if you want to become a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, you'll get a team review, and obviously that comes with your team playbook as well. You know, this customized graphic that will be your game plan for the offseason, obviously including the context of your league, what to do with your draft picks, how to move forward, your main pathway moving forward. All right, you get the team review, but you also get our 2025 rookie report. All right, version 1.0 is already on the Flock Fantasy website, and we are currently working on version 2. In fact, that's why I'm continually scouting, because I do need to add, you know, a profile for names like Alec A.O. Manor, which I just scouted, and Savion Williams, for example. So, you know, it's just going to continue to get better and better. Rankings will update. Historical hit rates will be in there. And then, of course, you get all of the premium tools on the website, the rankings, the prospect, historical database, the My Teams, the Trade Finder, the calculator. All that is, again, included when you become a yearly member with the promo code LAND. Now, If you're already a member of a different promo code and you just want to buy a team review, there's plenty of people who do that as well. And that is with the second link I'm going to put in the chat. That link will take you to our website, which looks like this. This is pretty much the Flock store. You go to the team review section. If you haven't linked up your league just yet, I would definitely suggest to do so. Sleeper, ESPN, or Yahoo. If you have an MFL league, you can upload screenshots and then just put your MFL ID in the upload chat box, if you will. But once you've linked your league, hit next. Make sure you have your team there, your rookie picks. Hit continue. Then you've got the ability to click on Zach and Badaki here from Fantasyland. The base review is an offline review. Some people prefer that because they don't want their league to see the live review. But it's only $10 more to prioritize yourself to get that live review alongside of the team playbook. Okay? So again, the offline is that team playbook graphic. We send it offline if you prefer that. And then the live version is just $10 more, again, to prioritize yourself within the queue that we have. So Jamie is first up here, Badaki. Let's get to Jamie's review. And whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and read the context here for Jamie, his first team review, which will be live. The second one will be offline for him. And you're definitely muted, by the way.
I am definitely muted. You are correct. All right. Appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you so much for the support. Let's read this context and help you with this league. First, you're doing Dynasty and got a bit giddy with my future picks in the startup. Secured Daniels and Higgins with them. Traded midseason for Monty McBride and Watson as a throw-in and gave away Higgins, Waddle, and Andrews. Had no running back depth. Finished third. And am I still a contender? Thinking trade Reed, it says. Okay. And this is a 2-quarterback, 12-team start 10. So this is most likely a middle ground, if I'm not mistaken.
12-team start 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is middle ground. Starting lineup.
Middle ground starting lineup here. Okay, well, let's have a look at your team here.
Gareth Ball.
Yeah, Gareth Ball. Looks like you're ranked second out of 12 here.
It's a good start.
You and Aaron are the guy that's number one are basically the
Shaqs.
The Thanoses of the...
Yeah, we used to call it Twin Towers, but we realized that wasn't appropriate. Gareth, go ahead and read his team.
Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, and no other QB3 essentially. Jameis Winston is a QB3 if they don't draft a running back or quarterback, excuse me. So great quarterback room, which is phenomenal. At the running back room, Dave Montgomery, Brian Robinson, Rico, Zach Moss, the list goes on. So not the strongest running back room. I do have my concerns with David Montgomery and what this offense is going to look like without Ben Johnson now.
Yeah.
Not saying he's going to be completely nothing.
Yeah.
But do they just more focus on Jahmyr Gibbs, this new offensive coordinator that's going to come in? We don't know. We have to wait and see. At the wide receiver position, keep in mind you can start up to 5 wide receivers or 5 running backs. Malik Neighbors, Jaden Reed, Josh Downs, Keon Coleman, Jawan Jennings are essentially you're starting 5 wide receivers, which is really not the best if you only have Malik Neighbors there.
Pretty weak.
With Trey McBride, and you don't have any 25 firsts. You do have your 26 firsts.
Yeah, this is super top heavy. I mean, thinking through the starting lineup, right? Daniels, Jackson. If any of those guys go down, you're in a tough spot. But probably the 101, the 102, or the 103 in a startup. So you have 2 of the most valuable players in the entire league. After those 2, you would start Monty, I guess Brian, but he might lose his job. Monty might lose his job. Then you've got Neighbors, Reed. Your wide receiver 2 isn't reliable right now, Trey McBride. And then, again, like you said, you can flex 3 more names. I guess that's Downs. I guess that's Coleman. Rico's probably... There's no way Rico has that job next year. So... And there's no draft capital at all to mention for this year. I mean, you have the 305 and the 405. It's almost pointless to even talk about that. But draft capital grade for this team. Okay, hold on. How is this team so high? It must be the top end talent. Because quite frankly, with all due respect, this team is not. It's not bad, but it's not in a position where I'd really want a team to be at right now.
So you said Got a big giddy with my first round picks in a startup. Secure Daniels and Higgins with them. Traded mid-season for Monty McBride and Watson. Gave away Higgins, Waddles, and Andrew. Okay.
For who?
So he received Monty McBride and Christian Watson, and he gave away T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, and Mark Andrews.
Okay. So might have sacrificed a bit of depth. If I understand it correctly. Traded got Monty McBride. And really Watson doesn't mean anything. And then we got rid of Higgins, Waddle, and Andrews. Yeah, might have sacrificed depth there. Well, okay, so we have our 26 first, so that does give us flexibility here. The draft capital grade has got to be a C.
I think it's just a C flat for me.
C flat.
You still have your 26 first. Hopefully you have your 27 first, but not having it first here doesn't make or break you, but just doesn't give you the flexibility to get pieces.
Yeah.
But I guess I wonder
this
what
team needs help,
like
and you don't have the ability really to help it right now outside of a tear down, which is what we'll talk about. But okay, so overall team grade, you got a lot of top end talent, but this is not a complete team. I mean, your flex spot is full of names that are unknown. Your running back position is full of names that we just don't know exactly what their future looks like. I probably would grade this team like a C flat as well. It's so top heavy. C plus.
Yeah, C flat. Let's do C flat. Actually, C plus because of the quarterback. His quarterback room is set.
Yeah. I think the only way to change this team is by tearing down. Like, you tear down from Lamar, you keep Daniels, and then you might have to tear down from Neighbors.
He finished third, though. Like, how'd you finish third? Like, okay, Monty had a good run.
Well, Rico was a decent starter.
But his wide receivers weren't.
Jawan Jennings was.
Okay, who else? Malik Neighbors, Jawan Jennings, Jaden Reed was the top guy for the first 5 weeks of the season.
Trey McBride carried a lot of people
on a week-to-week basis.
I don't know. Josh Downs was boom bust.
I guess he traded away T. Higgins, who was also gone for half of the season.
Yeah. Well, Jaden Daniels and Lamar alone probably carried him into the second round of the playoffs.
This first team is not that good either. I mean, he has no running backs. He has Drake May, Patrick Mahomes.
The difference between these two teams is look at his draft capital.
Yeah.
It's similar teams, but that guy has.
I mean, this guy barely had a tight end. Yeah, I wonder who finished second. Anyways, or first and second.
I kind of feel 1 year punt on this. I just don't see how this team is a serious contender next year with the lack of depth. I mean, assuming you have 1 or 2 injuries, you already don't have players we feel comfortable starting. I mean, Keon Coleman would have to take a huge step up. Same with Reed and Downs. Jennings would have to be a starter again.
Yeah, I think the only reason why I'm hesitant to say 1 year punt is because he finished third. Like, he competed with this team. Which is crazy to say, but like,
look at the other teams. Like, let's look at this. Look at Team 3. Team 3 will beat him in the playoffs. Team 4 will beat him in the playoffs. Team 5 has a good shot at it. I don't know, dude. I'm
not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's hard. It's interesting that this is still a 1 year punt, and my guy finished third. And
yeah, I just don't see. But the team isn't good.
Yeah.
It's not awful, but I mean, the only pathway moving forward right now is to tear down from Lamar Jackson. What is the other way around this team?
Yeah, well, there's no other way, really. There's no other way. because if we tell you not to tear down from Lamar, there's nothing that you can do with this team.
Well, you could trade Jaden Daniels, but that would be silly. You could trade Neighbors, but that would feel silly. Yeah, we just don't have any flexibility here whatsoever. I mean, the draft is not going to help at all. Those picks are completely useless. I really think I'm leaning a 1-year punt.
Yep. Yeah, I'll put that.
I think we should try and look at a tier down from Lamar Jackson here.
Okay, let's have a look.
To be honest, like your draft capital, it's pointless to talk about this because it really isn't going to make an impact. I mean, maybe you hit on a Bucky Irving or a Puka Nacua, but it's unlikely that this is really going to change the trajectory of your dynasty team. Now, if we want to trade Lamar Jackson, what we want to do is still stay in this range of quarterbacks we like. For example, we trade Lamar. Can we tear down to Mahomes now? Can we tear down to Love, Stroud, Caleb, Nix, Purdy, Baker, Goff? The further down we tear down, the more in return we get and the better overall team we have. So maybe 1-year punt isn't even right, because if we do this, our goal in mind is to have a more complete team. Yeah, well, maybe it's more of a sleeper window. A sleeper pathway, because if we're tearing down from Lamar, I think we can do it in a way where we're a more competitive team this year. And the future looks bright. But I also, with this team, would not be willing to trade any first-round picks because of how weak the depth is. All right, shall we look at teams that we could tear down with?
Need quarterback. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see. No.
Let's start with Team 1, who has Drake May, Pat Mahomes, and J.J. McCarthy. I mean, for example, McCarthy Puka sounds insanely good to me.
Yeah.
That instantly transforms this team. I don't know if you can get more than that. But would you try to add the 111 to the deal? Give you a little bit more flexibility? What does the chat think of that deal right there?
The only reason why I'm hesitant with this one is because we don't know the future of JJ. Now it's a big risk. Sure. Sam Darnold we trade Lamar, we get Puka Nacua, we get the 111, but Sam Darnold gets a 3-year contract extension with the Vikings. Like, we just don't know. Do they try and sell JJ? Like, I get this. I'm happy with it. If we knew he was going to start, 1,000%. Let's do it.
I just have a very strong conviction that he will start. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't start him, but let's change it then to Pat Mahomes. And you're going to struggle to get Puka Nacua with Pat Mahomes, though.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to make it Lad McConkey, which is also a very good deal. That's probably a safer deal than McCarthy, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like, with JJ, you can get a bigger return, you know?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
But let's keep looking. That guy has a ton of draft capital you could play around with as well. The implication, that's hilarious. If anybody has ever watched It's Always Sunny, then you would know what that means. What about like a Knicks Higgins move? I would do that pretty easily. I just don't think they would agree to it.
They just traded away T, but yeah.
Right. No, that's fair. I would definitely do that. I just don't think that they would agree to it. I would tear down to Penix and Brian Thomas.
I would as well. Yeah, I would as well.
Do you think you get more? I think you could get more. Maybe. If you want to add a Tracy onto that.
Yeah, we can do a Tracy, or I'm happy. Yeah, let's do Tracy.
You could tear down pretty far to Tua, but it'd have to be like Marvin plus the 104. plus Najee or something. You know?
Do Marvin 104.
It'd have to be some haul like that.
Yeah, has to be something big.
That might not even be enough, honestly. You could tear down to Trevor Lawrence. It'd have to be JSN. It'd have to be like Lawrence, JSN, and a future first or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't mind it.
Is that enough? Lawrence, JSN, and a future first? That seems in the wheelhouse. Maybe you add on Michael Pittman.
I feel like that's all right. Yeah, you can probably squeeze in a little bit more. Get one of these younger players, or one of these add-ons. You know, like you said, Pittman or the Moonies or whatever that looks like for you.
I don't think that. I mean, would you do? I don't know about this guy with Baker. I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, I feel like the only way that happens if you get the 101.
Yeah.
Even then,
How about Goff?
Baker in the 101 or something.
It has to be Goff CD, and I just don't see why that guy would do it. But we would do that. Jared Goff and CD Lamb. I just don't think that's realistic. This guy has 3 middle of the pack quarterbacks. So, I mean, Purdy could net you a pretty nice return. Do we have any tight end worth mentioning? We have McBride, right? There's no tight end premium here.
Yeah. McBride on premium, and he doesn't have any first.
It'd have to be Purdy, Garrett, and a future first. You know, similar to the Lawrence deal.
Yeah.
Some of these names are insane. There's not really a tier down here I like with Silence of the Lambs. You could go Kyler, Ayuk, but I don't like that either. So I think those are kind of your main options. I think the most return is the McCarthy Puka trade. I get it's the riskiest, but also I'll just quickly say the reason that interests me so much is because this gives you like a young piece as well. You're not going out and getting like a Jared Goff, for example, you know, or a Dak Prescott. You're getting a young piece that you could potentially build around, and that could improve their value. You know, if JJ McCarthy is as good as Michael Penix was, or as good as Sam Darnold was, you know, his value skyrockets. He's worth 2 or 3 firsts.
Yep.
But I understand the concern. I mean, maybe you make that the 109, so there's a little bit more.
Yeah, look, obviously there's definitely risk with this trade. I think if you do this trade,
yeah,
I think if you do this trade, that might hurt your team worse in the long haul. And then you're stuck without a quarterback in a super flex league. But I completely agree. Like, and I get what people are saying. You know, I see why. It's if you don't do JJ, this trade doesn't happen. The rest is part of the deal, which is fair. But I think it puts him in an even worse position potentially without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. I like. What's your percentage chance you think Sam Darnold's back in Minnesota then? Because for me, it's like 3%.
Yeah, I honestly don't have a strong conviction at all. I just think he played well enough that there has to be a conversation, right? Like,
but does it really make sense for them from a team building perspective to sign Sam Darnold to a big deal rather than play JJ McCarthy on the rookie contract, which they have control of for 4 more years now?
Sure. I mean, no, look, and that doesn't make sense. But I guess at the end of the day, that's probably not what they're thinking. They're thinking, well, we're trying to win a ship, and he took us to the playoffs,
and then completely froze.
But how great did he play in the playoffs? I mean, the season, excuse me.
Yeah, I think the only other name that you can, like, I guess, you know, this is why you get a review from us, because you've got 2 different opinions. I don't see a scenario where JJ isn't starting this year unless an injury occurs. But I understand your concern. But he also has Daniel Jones, does he not? So you make that trade. You have in my eyes at least, McCarthy, who will start, and Daniel Jones, who's going to be the backup. And again, in my mind, the way I'm viewing it, I think the only other flexibility here is Malik Neighbors. And if you're going to go the Neighbors route, then you could tier down to names like Garrett Wilson, Rice. You'd have to stay in a certain range. It'd have to be like Garrett Wilson, Rice, Ladd, Marvin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there another name that we could tear down to that you think? I mean, maybe London Nico. I don't know if you can really tear down to them, but
I don't think you can tear that to them. I think if you're going to tear down, it has to be a pretty big tear down, unless you can do like a 3-for-1 deal. Like, I feel like, I don't know if you want to do that, but my instant thought was like, can I get Ayuk and a piece or 2 pieces? But that feels like way too low, you know. Malik Neighbors, top 5 wide receiver.
Well, let's start with Garrett Wilson and let's see what the team has. So they have Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown. For example, could you get Garrett? This trade down doesn't work because he's not going to give you Bowers and Garrett. Yeah, this trade down doesn't work. There's not enough pieces. It doesn't make sense. So let's get rid of the Garrett Wilson. How about Rashee Rice? Rashee Rice might net you a huge return. You know, because obviously there's some risk as well. But Rashee Rice and Nico Collins is owned by the same name. How about Rice, the 103?
There's nothing else to add here.
That's not too far off, but would you do Rice the 103 in the future first?
I mean, yeah, I would.
Maybe you need to ask for more because obviously Malik Neighbors is very difficult to acquire. I mean, add the 203 in there as well. I don't know. That's, again, we don't want to tear down from Neighbors, but if you do, you really want to try and maximize the value right now. Well, this guy has Nico. Would it not be the same deal?
Yeah.
But probably you wouldn't get that 203. And I'm not even sure you'd get the future first either. I think it would be Nico Collins in the 103. Maybe you can ask for the 203 as well. Maybe you ask for Matt Stafford as well in that deal. Give you a quarterback 3. Neighbors and Marvin, Harrison, and Ladd. Marvin is, how about them boys? It'd be Marvin, the 104. Marvin, 104, and 108?
Yeah.
Right? London McConkey are the other names here. London McConkey.
Who's Drizzy? Drake London's on the implication.
So like a London... so this team's tough to work with, but it'd have to be like London, Waddle, and a future first at minimum. You know?
Yeah.
And then Ladd McConkey is the last name.
I think he's on team 1, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah, which we already talked about a different deal with him, but I mean, like Ladd in the 102 and the 111 or something. It'd have to be like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could actually sell the 102 in the future. You know, for a haul. Yeah. And I think, it's you guys have to understand that whoever owns Malik Neighbors is not selling him for anything outside of an absolute haul. You have to overpay for Malik Neighbors. So if you're going to sell him, and that's the expectation out of the community right now, which is the only thing I've seen, then you need to ask for an absolutely ridiculous haul. Now, again, this is, I think, the only way to really give yourself flexibility moving forward and to give yourself a little bit of leeway with your flex spots and the overall depth of your team, because right now your depth is really not a strong point.
Not there.
I think my favorites is probably the Brian Thomas Tracy, and I will advocate for the JJ Nakua trade because I think it's the potential to bring the most back. But what would you say?
I personally like. Let's do one of the Malik Neighbors one. Drake London, Waddle. Actually, let's do two. Malik Neighbors. The Drake London, Lat McConkey one.
Okay.
Just give him some variety there on the.
So these two that I highlighted, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and again, I definitely think you should tear down from Lamar Jackson, but I'm not as convinced that you need to do that with Malik Neighbors. But let's just play out a hypothetical world where you do get JJ Puka in the 109. Okay? So you add JJ McCarthy, you have Daniel Jones as backup, in my mind at least. You have Puka Nakua now with Malik Neighbors. At the 109, you add Quinshon Judkins. Now I think you're starting to cook with gas if JJ McCarthy hits. You can play out a similar world there with the other trade that we mentioned with Penix, Thomas, and Tracy. Let's say then you turn Neighbors into McConkey, the 102. So then that's McConkey and Tet McMillan, right? So you have McConkey, Tet McMillan, Puka Nakua in that scenario, right? So again, these are just ideas. It's really up to you exactly how you want to move forward. I definitely think a Lamar Jackson tear down is in your favor. Outside of that, I don't think you need to force a Neighbors tear down. And I guess with the moves that we're making, we're putting you more into a sleeper pathway rather than a one-year punt, because you're probably still going to compete next year. I would not be moving your first-round picks because this team could fall apart given its current state. But what we didn't do is talk about untouchables. I think Jaden Daniels is an untouchable on this team. Malik Neighbors is an untouchable. I think as far as holds go, I'd put Josh Downs as a strong hold. Ben Sinnott is a very, very good hold on this team.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, Keon Coleman, I don't see a reason to sell him. You and I didn't love him coming into this class. He hasn't really lit the world on fire, but I don't see a reason to sell him at this point. And probably the same with Jaden Reed. If you need to clear room, you can easily drop Raheem Blackshear, DJ Dallas, Craig Reynolds, Jeremy McNichols, Demarcus Robinson, Parker Washington. You can drop any of those names.
Yeah. Those are the guys I have. I'll add Keon Coleman and Jaden Reed there, depending on which way you guys, not which way, but which one I'll do for the playbook. And we appreciate you, Jamie. Obviously, you're probably not here with us, but we appreciate the support. You will be receiving this in 48 to 72 hours, a customized digital playbook in the Flock Fantasy Message system with all the information that we have spoke about here today: the positional grades, draft capital, overall grade, your main pathway forward, untouchables, easy hold. All is going to be on that digital copy in the Flock Fantasy Message system. So stay tuned for that within 48 to 72 hours, and we appreciate the support.
Yeah. Again, like Badaki said, you'll have your playbook completely customized to everything that we talked about today. And if you guys are out there and you want your team playbook, there's two ways that you can get that done. The first way is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LANDS. All right. When you become a yearly Mother Flocker member with our promo code, you get the team playbook. You also get our 2025 rookie report. You also get all the premium tools on the website.
Yep.
It's the best bang for your buck by far. And if you do team reviews in the future, or you want to purchase another team review, you get a discount on it. It's a no-brainer. But the other option is if you already are a yearly member with a different promo code, or you just don't want to become a member, you can buy one a la carte through the Flock Fantasy Store. All right, the link is there. You go to team review. Once you go through that process, you click Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. The base model is offline, and then it's just $10 more for the live review with the team review. So, all right, let's get to our next review. And I love the community in the chat going back and forth and having some conversations. It's great to see. This is Abe Prowse, who is next up here. Now, I believe he left some context in his review. He says, my league is another platform. I did a startup draft on Sleeper to match my league up for review. So what we'll do is...
Oh, that's right, but I won't show his league if no one's selected.
It won't show his league if he hasn't entered...
It can show his team.
The league, I don't think. Let me see. Let me upload it on KTC and see if it does anything differently.
Yeah,
it shows all the open teams on KTC.
Yeah, it does show the open teams. I wonder if that's something that we can have, because if people are in different leagues, they can just join a league and have it open for us to review. But that's a lot of work.
Most people probably aren't going to go through that kind of work that Abe did, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so yes. There are open teams which you can see. Lost in Reno is his team name.
But hey, we appreciate you going through that effort to kind of help us out, to help you to see, the best path forward for your team there.
So I'm gonna look at it on the Block Fantasy website. It just looks better. But when we think of trades, we can look at the teams.
Yeah.
And stuff if we need to. But okay, Abe. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. He says, just reading this context, he's telling his picks. This wasn't a hard rebuild the last 2 years. Hope to contend this year. So he's looking and trying to contend going into the 2025 season. Lost in Reno is his team name.
And I'm just loading up his draft capital on the chalkboard while you read that all out.
I'll go through them. I'll go through the team. Because it's all the context there. So at the quarterback position,
12 team start 9, right?
12 team start 9. Yeah, absolutely.
Meat and potatoes.
Is meat and potatoes.
Appreciate you, D-Trees.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And all right, let's have a look at this. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Will Levis, a lot of picks here, or quarterbacks, which is great.
Superflex league, 12 team. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you had a lot of picks. I'm assuming, if you think about it, in the first round, just alone in 2024, you had the 101, the 102, and maybe middle of the first round, or maybe you got Bo Nix in the second, just depending on how you got, where you got at the running back position. Trey Benson, Jalen Wright, Aldrich Esme, Kamani Vidal, all basically running backs in the 2024 class. At the wide receiver position, that did not hit, which is unfortunate. At the wide receiver position, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jerry Jeudy, QJ, Christian Watson, and the list goes on. And
not QJ having 13 catches, 180 yards in week 18, and then in the playoffs dropping a pass and doing nothing. It's like, bro, can you please just, you know what I mean? Build on the progress.
Build on the progress. Well, target him more.
They can't. They can't rely on him. This is a good team. This is a really good team.
This is a really good team.
I've got his draft capital up for us, by the way. Like you said, the 102, the 105, the 111, 3 firsts this year, 2 seconds, a couple thirds. Great draft capital.
We already know what we're going to do with this team.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I think... Sorry, you go ahead. You were going to say something. I think I interrupted.
No, I'm just saying start 9. So, if you look at the starting lineup, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix at the quarterback position, and then maybe these 2 rookie running backs that we're going to draft, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas with Brock Bowers, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba with Jerry Jeudy or another wide receiver that we're going to be drafting here. So that's going to be really exciting for this team.
Going to be fun to talk about this team because you and I are on the same page. We know exactly what we're going to do with it. Consolidate this bitch down to a superstar squad if you aren't already there. Now, obviously running back is a weakness. That's our number 1 goal. All right. I'd say And I'll put that here on the chalkboard. Number 1 goal, get star running backs and consolidate the roster. All right. At the 102, I think you ideally trade down and stay in the top 6. But if you were to stick and pick, you know, you got Tet McMillan there, which is most people's pick. Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, and of course, like Tet McMillan, Luther Burden, right? You're kind of in this range. So let's just play out this world where, you know, in this range you stay. And then at the back end of the first, let me I swear I had this written down somewhere else. It's like your, man, I swear I just did a team review where we had this type of pick. Okay, here we go. Sorry, let me bring this up. So you have names like Emeka Egbuka, Judkins, Golden, Royals, the tight ends, the quarterbacks. Like, that's the kind of range there, right?
Yeah.
And then that's probably the same range as the 202. And then from that point onwards, it's really true BPA. And I might be more interested in using these picks to just get the best starting lineup I can possibly get. But I like the idea of trading the 102, trading down and landing one of these names like Caleb, Henderson, Hampton. What about you?
Getting, like, trading down. Okay, yeah, trading down. Sure. I'm happy with that.
For example, at any point, we send the 102, we stay from the 103 to the 105 range or 6 and target Hampton, Johnson, Henderson. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that is my number 1 goal with that pick. And then at the 105, I think you take another rookie running back. I don't even mind if he goes 3 rookie running backs in the first round.
Well,
so,
that's what I was. That's
for
what
example,
I was gonna say. I'm happy to do that because you have an early second, which means you can just get. These seconds are, we can package most likely and get some value picks. Like, even though you have Jerry Jeudy, but we get the Jerry Jeudy's of the proven world right now. Potentially. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like thinking out loud. So we trade down from the 102. Let's say we get the 106 and a future first, or we get, let's just say, right? And then we also find a way to land a Hampton, Johnson, Henderson. So either way, you're using these 3 picks to get Hampton, Johnson, and Henderson, assuming the draft capital is there. That's already incredible. But what we might want to do with those second rounds, like Badaki was saying, is use those to go out and get a veteran to go and compete right now. So we use the 202. We're thinking Alvin Kamara range, probably.
Yeah. Kamara's maybe not the James Connors, but like
a little early for Connor. Mixon.
Yeah, the Mixons. Derek? Probably not Derek Henry. Let me pull
what
up
if
the
you
list
did
here.
the 202 plus the 205 for Derek Henry?
Yeah.
You know, if you can add a third in there, then that's great. And then what's great about this team is we can try and use our quarterback depth to go out there and let's sell Caleb Williams in this scenario, for example. Let's tag Caleb Williams, and can we find a way to go get Jahmyr Gibbs? Like, who owns Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson? Let's see what team. Hold on.
We gotta hope they don't have quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Allen, Drake May.
Perfect. Open team number 4 has Bijan and Bucky. Badaki, this could be perfect. Can we send them Caleb Williams? Would you do Caleb and the 105 actually for those 2? Bucky and Bijan?
Oh, the Caleb in the 105 for Bucky and Bijan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, especially with this draft with his team.
Imagine that, dude. Imagine sending Caleb away. We still have Trevor as our quarterback 3, but we had fucking Bijan Robinson and Bucky Irving to this team. That would... Okay, so we lose the 105. You still have the 102. You can trade down. You can stick and pick. You still have the 111. I mean, that would be so ideal. And you have to hope that this guy isn't like completely in love with Bucky Irving like I am. I mean, you might even have to add onto that. I'd add the 202 easily to get that deal done.
Caleb 105, 202, Bijan, Bucky.
Easily, I'd do that.
I mean, that instantly puts you up potentially like, well, actually doesn't put you in Thanos because your wide receivers fall short.
But you're
if you had
contending
that
for
be,
like 5 years.
That could be Thanos. Like if you had, like, maybe I don't know, maybe Jordan Addison or a somebody.
Yeah.
A Brandon Ayuk on this team. This could be Thanos vibes.
Yeah. Who has Jahmyr Gibbs?
Open team.
This must be
I think it was 5.
Who?
Open team 5. Team 5.
Okay, yeah. I don't think they'd be willing to.
I don't think so
play
because
ball.
Josh Allen, Drake May there, yeah.
Yeah, probably not. It wouldn't make sense for them. But that Bijan team is perfect. Other teams that have quarterback need. I mean, shoot, you could even do like a... No, I want to go for one of those top names. But Team 8 has Saquon Barkley. Would you trade Trevor plus the 111 for Saquon?
Yeah. I would be interested in getting a little piece. I don't know if that little piece is like. I'm happy to throw like an extra second and see if I can get Tyreek Hill.
Right. Okay.
You know.
So
obviously these are older pieces.
We also add the 205.
Yeah. Add
Right.
Tyreek Hill to that, and you have a running back and another piece. Once again, getting close to that Thanos thing, that Thanos vibe, and then getting another wide receiver or another running back in the draft. This is crazy.
How about we use Jerry? What would Jerry Caleb net us if we wanted to upgrade wide receiver? I think you need to focus on running back. Is there any other teams like that we could upgrade at running back? I mean, not that have names we want to play ball with. I mean, what about like a Caleb for a CMC AJ Brown?
Who's that? CMC AJ Brown.
They could use help.
I'm okay with that as well, even though I'm not big on buying CMC.
What would we have? We'd have to send something there. Like, let's try the 202. Caleb in the 202 for... That feels like overpaying. What about the 205 for CMC AJ Brown in a future third, maybe?
Oh, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I love these ideas. I would do that that Saquon deal. I would do that for Achane as well. And
Team is Achane on?
I'd remove the 205. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah. I think these are pretty interesting deals.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Abe, it's just when you're watching this, your focus is to build that running back room. Focus on running back, and then whoever falls to you at the wide receiver position, however way you can package your seconds. Let's just say you wanted to stick and pick. Running back, maybe even running back, and then wide receiver in the 202 that you have there. That can be the Matthew Goldens. That can be the Jalen Royals if he falls in the second round. That can be whoever. So many different people.
I also think Breece Hall is like equivalent value right now. You know, like he's. We just did a startup. They went pretty much right beside each other. I think Trevor went earlier. So if you can send Trevor, get Breece, and still build the rest of your team with those picks, I think that also makes a ton of sense. But yeah, this is the way I'd play it.
Yeah, this is.
I love the Bijan Bucky trade. That's one of my favorite trades we've made recently. I
Yeah,
also like
I'm happy with that.
the Alvin Kamara trade. What else do you like?
Yeah, I like the Saquon Tyreek. I'll do that one. Ooh.
Mhm.
Um, and let's do Joe Mixon because I like Joe Mixon as well.
Yeah,
Just give us some variety there. Um,
but yeah, I mean
this is
this is let's play out this world for a second. All right, again, so we turned the 102. Let's say we turned Caleb and the 105 into Bijan and Bucky. Let's just start there. Okay, so we no longer have Caleb. We no longer have the 105, but we have Bijan and Bucky on this superstar team. That's incredible. We also used the 102 to trade down, and we got Travion Henderson and a future first. So now we have Bucky, Travion Henderson, Bijan Robinson. Again, no Caleb Williams, but still great. 3 quarterbacks that are great. Still Brock Bowers. I mean, that's a superstar team. Then you use the. I mean, you might not even need to use your seconds if some of these things happen to get these veteran running backs. But yeah, I mean, you just want to build the strongest starting lineup. Couple guys that are flexible, and you are chilling, man. You are not far off from being Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great team, and we appreciate the support, Abe. You will be receiving your Dynasty playbook within 48 to 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy Message System with all the customized information that we did break down here for you with the chalkboard with all those trades that we did draw up here today. There are going to be some things that may not be filled out because of the way that your team is set up, whatever platform you are using.
On KTC though, you can see where he ranks there. Let's just use their ranking for his graphic.
Well, I think
because it still is a team, it just doesn't have the names.
Where do you see it? Like the rankings.
Hold on, let me pull his.
Because I don't think there's rankings, is there? Unless
I could be wrong.
Unless I'm wrong.
No, there definitely should be. Yeah, look at league overview.
League overview. Let's see.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So never mind. You definitely have that there. Which would just be the league positional grades, which in reality, when you think about it, it is pretty simple. It's one.
Yeah.
You're one across the board essentially. Outside of running back and technically wide receiver, according to this, you're second in wide receiver.
Untouchables, Daniels, Bowers. Let's just say neighbors, Brian Thomas. Let's put 4 because.
Yeah, that's what I have. Daniels, Malik. Let's put So what I have is Jaden Daniels, Malik, BTJ, Bo Nix. We can definitely put Brock Bowers there as well. Holes, I put Jerry Judy and Trey Benson.
Yeah.
And then you can drop Izzy, Abadi Kanda, and or Miles Sanders if you wanted to.
Yeah, good. Oh,
that's about it.
All right, man. Appreciate you. That was a really fun team to review. I think you're going to be an absolute powerhouse, and you should feel very, very good about the team that you've built because, yeah, I mean, you've built an absolute monster there, dude.
We definitely need to really quick talk about this team grade. Obviously he's a contender.
Yep.
And the draft capital grade.
Yeah, draft capital grade would be, I mean, probably an A+, and then the team overall, it's got to be A flat.
Yeah.
It would be a plus if we figure out the running back position.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's all filled out. We're all on the same page there. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support, Abe. Once again.
Yeah.
48 to 72 hours. Stay tuned for that in the Flock Fantasy Message System.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Last review of the day. We are going to go to Alejandro. Just Alejandro.
I don't think I made one for him, did I?
I don't see one right now.
No. All right.
But
well, as
you put Jonah at 64. Jonah's actually 65.
Okay, yeah. So
I'll change that. I'll change Jonas to 65.
Yeah, I'll add So Alejandro is 64.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we should be all just Alejandro.
If you guys are watching this and you want your team reviewed, very simple, guys. There are 2 ways to get your team reviewed. The first way is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. You know, it is easily the best bang for your buck. I mean, we had DT come in and say he loves all the tools. I mean, it's funny because the site tools aren't even something that we highlight a lot, but there are so many incredible site tools now on our website. It's the value you get is insane just for being a member on the site, but you also get the team playbook. You also get our 2025 rookie report. So if you're interested in getting one of these playbooks customized for your league, definitely consider becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. But of course, if you're already a member and you just want to purchase one a la carte, that is an option as well. The baseline version is offline, and then if you want it live, it's just $10 more for the live version. Now, what is up, Jonah? He says, yo, wanted to pop in the chat real quick, see if you're able to sneak mine in. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I won't be able to add in conversation. What do you think, Badaki? I think we can get to Jonah's after this.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. Hit us with the birthday, birthday comment here, man. No.
I think we can do that for him.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, yeah, let's do this. Let's do Alejandro's and then Justin's, and then we'll call it a night here.
Okay. Alejandro first, though. We'll go in order, and then we'll get to you, Jonah.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, Alejandro, appreciate you. He says, tank this year because of unlucky injuries. I traded away King Henry to the 3rd seed, and he ended up finished 7th overall. Oh, wow. Now I have the 101 and the 107, but no second-round picks. Running back is needed, but is there anything you think I should do? Tight end and QB might need work, okay? And his team, he sent some screenshots, but I remember us telling him to send us his sleeper ID, which he did. So as you probably pulled that up, his name is first team all IR. Never good when the team name is already
first team all IR. Let's see.
Yeah.
So he's ranked last.
Oh yeah, he's ranked
on
last.
KTC. If we bring up KTC. Now, unfortunately, we can't view it on Flock Fantasy because Alejandro wasn't able to link his league before he submitted. But that's okay. We can still use KTC. KTC is just not as good as Flock. But it shows everything the same outside of the draft picks. Do we know his draft picks? Yeah, he sent a screenshot.
He sent the screenshot of the draft picks here. So
why don't you go ahead and look at his team, and I'm going to, on my end, update that.
Yeah, so this is a 1 quarterback start 9 in a 12-man league. So that's the middle ground. That's essentially you can start up to 5 wide receivers. So 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 3 flex spots. Let's have a look at this team for Alejandro here. At the quarterback position, Drake May, 2 attacks, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith. So look, it's not a terrible quarterback room. But at the same time, this is 1 quarterback, so having that depth essentially means nothing.
Yeah, like Geno, Dak, too. I mean, these guys really aren't that valuable in this format.
Yeah. At the running back position, Tony Pollard, really just Tony Pollard with Jordan Mason, Carson Steele, and Raheem Mostert here. Hopefully, this draft capital could be something if he does have some good stuff here. At the wide receiver position, once again, you can start up to 5 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Rashee Rice, Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin, Hollywood Brown, Andre Yeshiva. So that's already a big fall off there. There's really 3 wide receivers worth mentioning. Actually, Keenan Allen is also there, and no tight end as well at the tight end position outside of Pat Fryermuth and Jatavion Sanders.
Not good, Bob.
Not good, Bob. Hey, Bobby. It's not good.
This is, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is a full rebuild. Did we get any context from him on like his goals for the team?
And he says, I have no running back after I traded away Henry. Injuries that really messed me up this year. Last year I was number 1 seed and ended up 3rd overall. That's kind of the only context here. So what injuries hurt you?
So you had Rashee Rice who went down.
Rashee Rice,
Chris Godwin
Tyreek
went
Hill.
down. Jordan Mason, Tua, Tyreek.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Tua went down.
He had a ton.
So you had, in reality, you had Tony Pollard. Who was the other guy you traded away? You had a Tony Pollard and Derrick Henry. So you came in thinking Drake May or Tua was going to be my guy, or hell, even Dak Prescott. He didn't finish the season. Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Rashee Rice, Tyreek Hill, your wide receiver 1 and 2. At the tight end position, I don't know where you were going there. You were just winging it. And then you had Chris Godwin and Keenan Allen, or Hollywood Brown, maybe Deontay Johnson. There was a lot of, oh man, this can go crazy this year if it hits, you know.
I will say, to get the 107 for Derrick Henry, even as good of a season that he had, I think is probably the max you could have gotten for him anyway. So that's honestly probably helpful. Like if we were doing a review right now, we'd probably say this is a full rebuild. Maybe you can get the 109, 110 for Derrick Henry, but you've already gotten more than that. So like in that sense, you're already kind of going in the right direction. To me, this is a full rebuild. The draft capital grade, he has his 26 and 27 first round pick, which is great. He has 2 first. I would put the draft capital grade at A- because he has the 101. So that's a very impactful piece to own. You know, you can definitely do some damage with that. The overall team grade is going to be pretty honest and transparent. And it's going to be...
Just shoot him straight. Don't give him around the circle. Shoot him straight, Alejandro. We're all grown men here, huh?
This is probably D range, if I'm honest. Probably a D-. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh, but outside of your draft capital and Rashee Rice, there's really not much that you could really be excited about.
No. Which really just makes this a little bit easier. 20 untouchables, future picks.
Yeah, all your untouchables, the only untouchable on your roster is your future draft capital, because your team, you're going to be rebuilding here for a bit, man. Your holds, I mean, you might as well hold Godwin at this point and then sell him if he signs a new deal somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think holds Chris Godwin, Rashee Rice.
I think you could put Drake May there too, because we might as well try and build around him in the future. You could probably put Sanders as a hold as well, because there's no point in moving him.
Tavion Sanders, so that's 4 holds there, because we can't really drop anyone on this small roster. I mean, we
drop
can.
Demarcus Robinson. You can drop Ray McLeod. All right. Names that we can trade. Almost everyone. For example, like Tua Tags, Dak Prescott, Tyreek Hill comes to mind. Tony Pollard comes to mind. Yeah, I don't think Geno is going to get you anything, but
no.
Geno Smith, I guess. I mean, I think being realistic, and hopefully you're coming here for honesty and transparency. In full honesty and transparency, this team is just not in a position where it's going to compete, even if the 101 hits. You are. If someone's telling you that you're a competitor, they're living in La La Land. But if we are to stick and pick, Ashton Genty obviously is going to be the pick if you stay there, especially in one quarterback. At the 107, you know, you've got a pretty good range here at the 107. I'd say it's not that different to the 105, which is what we talked about earlier. You know, you're in this range of these running backs, the McMillans, the Burdens, but it is one quarterback. But that doesn't really change anything for me, honestly, because I don't have the quarterbacks inside my top 7.
I think it just depends on if people do value that, you know, like if people, I wish you could see the picks, but like if some of these high up teams need a quarterback and they do go Sanders or Ward or,
yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with you. Well, actually,
one
no,
quarterback. There's no way.
One quarterback. There's no way. Yeah, it's one quarterback. I was thinking in the Superflex league.
Yeah. In an
so
ideal world,
right.
to spark this rebuild, you probably want to trade away the 101 for a haul. As good as Ashton Genty is going to be, you can either trade him away now or next year when he's worth the same amount. Like, he's probably going to be in that 3 to 4 first-round pick range. In fact, I have a video coming out where the trades that, man, there's some trades where people sent away the 101. I mean, maybe I can even bring up my script for you guys to see, because some of these people have gotten some huge hauls for the 101 this year already, and we're in January. We would suggest Alejandro probably to wait until April, because that's when these picks will have their absolute most value. But let me pull up my script for this week, because I'll show you guys a couple trades here. Okay, so for example, someone in a 1-quarterback non-tight end premium, they got the 101 Reed and Brooks, and look at what they sent away. They sent away the 105, the 104, the 106, 3 picks in 2027, 3 firsts in 27, and the 206. I don't think that's realistic to expect that kind of return, but that would be perfect to spark your rebuild. Now, this may be more realistic from the Tracy take. This is a super flex league. They got the 107, 2 future first-round picks, and Jameson Williams. That might be a more realistic haul, but again, just showing you the type of deals people have gotten before, right? So let's have a look at a team that has a ton of draft capital, hopefully. We don't know where any of these picks are. That's a problem.
That's the problem.
Which
is unfortunate.
But let's just say, like, for example, Jalen Waddle and Larry's first-round pick, his first in 27. You know, like, that's the kind of deals we're talking about here. Like, Jalen Waddle plus 3 first-round picks. Honestly, though, in a 1-quarterback league, we should expect a lot. We should expect maybe more than that. 12 team, though. Yeah, let's say Jalen Waddle and 3 first-round picks, as an example. You know? Let's look at a different team. D's Nuts. Again, we don't know where any of their picks are, and they don't have any picks in 25. But, like, would you do Lab McConkey in some firsts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think maybe 2 to 3 first-round picks. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, push it as far as you can, get the most value. But that's kind of the range you're probably only going to get 2. But
Aladdin 2, yeah.
What I would love, I mean, in a Dunze, same with Waddle, in a Dunze instead, right? Of course, you can also do like a deal where, like, you go from the 101 and you go from the 101 to the 102 to the 105 range, 106 range, plus 2 to 3 future first round picks. You know, like, these are the kind of deals you're thinking of. I'd also really love to find like a Bucky Irving deal if it's out there.
You see Bucky's on Ligma.
Love it.
Ligma tits.
Yeah, so like Bucky, McMillan, and multiple firsts.
Whatever that first is, yeah. This guy, this guy might have an early first. Because, okay, he had Lamar, Bucky popped off, but who was his RB2? Nobody. CMC wasn't there. Trey Benson wasn't there.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, Olave was non-existent. Debo was non-existent. Stephon Diggs got hurt.
Yeah.
No tight ends. This actually might be a top pick here, actually.
You're definitely right there. I don't mind the idea of like a JSN package, which would be like the LAD package as well.
Yeah.
Be the same. Of course, the idea is to target teams that you think will have early first-round picks, right? I mean, that's that's your ideal goal there. You ideally don't want to sell these picks to the best teams or sell the 101 to the best teams.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, for obvious reasons. So I think that's your ideal scenario there with the 101. Now, as far as trading away some of these names, Tua tags. I mean, is there any team that needs quarterback? I really doubt it, but let's just quickly look. Is there any team that will look at Tua and say, I mean, maybe as a backup to Ligma Tits, I'd send Tua away for McMillan, for example, if that's possible. I doubt it, but
chasing big old TDs needs a quarterback for sure.
Okay, where's that? Okay,
Team
yeah.
6.
Right behind Jaden. What about like Adonai in a second or something?
Yeah. I'm honestly just happy with a second or any third. I mean, maybe not third, maybe third and it's just hard now. But yes,
I'd say all these trades are Tua tags or Dak Prescott.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think you're gonna get anything for
Josh Allen. Team 7. BS Pratt.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall maybe.
He needs a Slick Rick. See what happens there. Who else needs a quarterback? Team 9.
What about Jerry Jeudy? Maybe Jerry Jeudy, but you need to offer. You also add the 301. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of deals you're probably thinking of there. Just looking at all these other teams, seeing if there's anything interesting. I'm not finding much I like. So yeah, I think those are your main ideas to sell them. As far as selling Tyreek Hill, I would say in a league like this, one quarterback, I'd say any mid to late first, ideally in 2027. From any team, I would take that. And then Tony Pollard, maybe it's smarter to sell him in season.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, when people need running back.
Most likely, yeah.
All right. I mean, the direction to me is very clear. This is a rebuild. It's a long rebuild. I think my favorite options here would be like the Bucky Irving deal we talked about. Roma Dunze. Are there two that you want to highlight here?
Yeah, let's do I really like the Ricky Pearsall one.
Yeah.
And the McMillan one.
Yeah.
But let's do doesn't really matter which one, honestly.
Okay.
Give him some variety.
Yeah, look, probably not exactly what you wanted to hear, Alejandro, and hopefully you hear where we're coming from, because the heart is to help you get the best team possible. And right now you're just in a very difficult position, and we want to help you get out of that position, right? I mean, Keenan Allen as well, by the way. I think you can sell him for any second. But yeah, that's about the direction we take, man. And if you can't get a huge haul for the 101, just keep Ashton Genty. When people realize how good he is, just like they did with Bijan and Gibbs, then they'll send you a haul. They'll finally do it, you know. But as of right now, I think that's kind of the direction I would take this.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway. Do not sell Ashton Genty if you don't get the haul that you need or deserve, because his value is, and don't sell him before the NFL draft. Sell him after the NFL draft, because that's where his value is going to be at his absolute peak.
Unless you can get one of these hauls before, but you're right.
100%. Unless you get one of these hauls before. But a lot of people are like, oh, you know, we don't know where he's going to. People are going to try and sweet talk you. We don't know where he's going to go. What if he goes to a bad team? It's like, actually,
I'm happy to wait. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyways, you will be receiving your customized playbook within 48 to 72 hours in the Flock Fantasy message system. We appreciate you and all the support that you're doing here with all the information, all those trade those trades that we draw up there on the chalkboard, the untouchables, et cetera, all going to be in the Flock Fantasy message system within 48 to 72 hours. We appreciate you and thank you so much. The birthday boy. How old you turning, Jonah? How old you turn?
Watch Jonah be like, I'm 49 years old, and we'll be like, what? I didn't know you were that old.
Next minute, oh, I'm turning 19. What? Sorry.
All right, yeah, Jonah will be the last of today. We saved the best for last. No, I mean, you guys are all equally great, by the way. But yeah, let's have a look at his team. Why don't you go ahead and read the context?
Yeah. Once again, we appreciate you, Jonah. Thank you so much for supporting and being patient here. Says this league is a tight end and running back premium league. 6.5 rushing yards equals 1 point. Went all in for the chip, getting Saquon and Higgins for my 25 first, second, and Devonta Smith. Won the chip, but now don't know how to retain that going into the next couple of years, looking to keep the window open as long as possible. Okay.
That's true. I actually do remember him graduating college. We talked about that, so that's on me. Okay.
This is Jonah. You the one from like Hawaii or something?
No. Who's from Hawaii?
There was somebody. Didn't they graduate college and they were from Hawaii, or did you go to There was like a couple people that said it was either Hawaii, and then Jonah was going for. Okay, maybe
San Diego.
Were you? Maybe you're the one that was like in the marching band.
Don't you go San Diego State?
And you play an instrument.
The Aztecs, if I'm remembering correctly. No. All right, yeah. So like you said, it's a tight end and running back premium. They said they fixed this problem, but it still says non-tight end premium on my end. But Aki, does it say that on yours?
Yeah, it says non-tight end premium.
All right. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to send another message. I feel bad. Give me 1 second because I want to make sure that we follow this up.
Let me get this all Dancing Peacocks. This is his team name. You love to see it. Yeah, remind us, Jonah. I'm pretty sure. Like I remember having a conversation with Zach. San Diego. I'm pretty sure you were like in a band or something. Like you're, unless it's somebody else. We talk to so many people. Yes, he said yeah. San Diego State music education. If you're going into college basketball and at all, you probably see me on TV. Cameron says a knack to find me. I'm teaching marching band at State now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And also getting teacher's credential. That's really cool, man. That's sick.
He's gonna take your ass to school.
Take my ass to school in the marching band. Nah, that's what's up. We appreciate the support, and that's awesome. That
6.5 rush yards equal 1 point. That's super interesting, by the way.
Yeah. So this is a pretty big league, or a lineup here.
Congratulations on winning the championship, by the way.
Yeah, rolling deep. 2 quarterback. Start 11.
Ranked 7th right now in my rankings.
Yeah. So this is rolling deep here. So this is a pretty big lineup. Wide receivers are key. Having depth is key in this lineup. So let's have a look at this team here. The Dancing Peacock is his name. You are ranked 7th out of 12 according to Zach's rankings. Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Aiden O'Connell. Okay. Decent quarterback room. We got to talk about that QB3. At the running back position, Saquon Barkley, James Cook, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, Ramonte Williams, Tajay Spears. The list goes on. Okay, not bad. I have a joke with the boys. Just give it to James Cook. He's going to get you 5 yards every single time. This is perfect for this league.
Yeah.
At the wide receiver position, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen McMillan, Jahan Dotson, and the list goes on. So not the best wide receiver room, but you kind of counter that with some deep running back, which is okay. And at the tight end position, Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz, and the list goes on there as well. You don't have any 25 future picks or 25 first rounds. You have a 3rd and 4th, and then you have your 26 first. Okay. And you said What's the premium again? I think
Well,
he
he
said
has
it.
all the scoring settings actually in the message tab.
I
Let me
can't
see if
see
I
that for some
can.
reason. I'm trying to download it or something.
Yeah, I think you have to hit save image,
Oh, do I? Okay, let's
and
see.
then let me see here. So yeah, it's yeah, passing touchdowns are 6. They get bonuses for 40-yard completions and 50-yard touchdowns. The rushing yards, 6.5 yards equal 1 point. I mean, it feels like across the board, there's bonuses
Oh,
for rush, like there's bonuses for long passes, long receptions, long rushes. Tight ends get 0.75 point premium. It feels like every position is just kind of elevated, which means for the most part, nothing is that significant. I mean, clearly tight ends 0.75 is going to make them more valuable, but also you have running backs
that are just as
are earning
valuable.
more yards, more points per yard. So it's close to evening out, but yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to our devs because they're going to try and fix this little issue that we have where it doesn't show tight end premium. But anyway, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so again, thinking through a starting lineup, start 11: Lamar, Love, Saquon, Cook, Higgins. I guess Ayuk when he's back. Mark. Then we can flex Derek. This is the issue. After this year, Derek, Jalen, and that's where all the question marks start with Swift, Jones, Javante. We have no first round pick. I can't think of a way not to tear down from Lamar with this league.
What's his goal here? Won the chip, but now don't know how to retain that going into the next couple of years. Looking to keep the window open as long as possible.
I don't know how we don't tear down from Lamar to give us flexibility. There's no flexibility anywhere else. You could tear down from Saquon, but there's no picks to really make a difference.
Yeah.
You know? Well, overall team grade, I think it makes sense why you won last year, considering how McMillan went off in the playoffs. Mark Andrews really recovered. Your running back room was pretty strong at that time, and Lamar Jackson did his thing.
Yeah,
I would definitely not label you a favorite this year, given the current construction. I do not see how DeAndre Swift keeps his job. And I don't know that Aaron Jones keeps a job either. I mean, yeah, he was great, but he's over 30 years old. What team is going to want to sign him to another long-term deal? He only has a 1-year deal. Does he get another 1-year deal? Does that team draft another running back? Javonte Williams hasn't looked the same since his injury. There's a ton of question marks here, right? Overall, I'd probably give this like a... Is this a B minus, C plus?
Yeah, I was gonna go B minus personally. I think this is still a good team.
Yeah,
it's a good team. It's just, yeah, and then I feel like the draft capital is the C minus.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. Jonah says, I'm not attached to any of these players, but want to make the most of the value while it's here. Yeah, well, if this isn't the definition of Windows open, I don't know what is. It's definitely a Windows open roster. I don't know that you have an untouchable Lamar Jackson, but in this league, Saquon Barkley, I like, honestly, the advantage running backs get feels like Saquon should be there. And I guess you can put Lamar on the graphic for him, but Jonah, while you're here, I think Lamar's your only pathway to extend this window as a tear down. As far as holds, McMillan's a strong hold. Ayuk is a strong hold. I don't think there's another one I'm obsessed with here. You can drop Grant Calcaterra, Tommy Trimble, Austin Hooper, easy drops. You can drop
Give me 4.
Dylan Lobb if you want to. I mean, the guy's he's never gonna be that guy. You can drop Frank Gore Jr. if you want. Those are easy drops. Okay, let's think through a tear down for Lamar because, oh wow, Barkley averaged 33 points per game in this league. Okay, yeah.
Dude. I mean, one thing I was gonna say is like we could sell Barkley for like with this league. You want an absolute haul, like you want like a 101 type haul. Like, can you get that without selling Lamar for Saquon Barkley in the league like this?
But even if you go from Lamar to the 101 or from Saquon to the 101, your problems aren't solved. But I definitely hear you.
But we continue to tear down.
Yeah, we can try to tear down from Saquon too. All right, let's look at quarterback needy teams. For example, half Chuba. I mean, this depends on how much you believe in JJ McCarthy, but like a McCarthy Puka, I would be super interested in. We've talked about this same scenario in a previous review, actually. And I think you might be able to get more.
Yeah, it was plus something.
Depending on this. Like, could you add... I mean, Blake Corum's not a terrible sleeper in this one, but like a Coker or a Mooney, because of how deep these rosters are.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like Coker Mooney over Blake at the moment.
Alternatively, could you ask them for one of those seconds? So like the two... I mean, try for the 203, but I doubt you get it. Maybe the 209. That's an idea. Of course, you're going to significantly tear down from Lamar, you know, and maybe with that 203 that we got, we could look at trying to get a veteran quarterback like a Geno as a quarterback 3, a Stafford, or even try and add something to it to go get Dak. But that's a team. Pity Cent maybe makes sense. Brock Purdy might be perfect, actually. What about Purdy, London?
Pity Cent. The way you said it, just so casually. Pity Cent. Yeah, we can. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, bro. You know, I grew up from the streets. Streets raised me. Purdy, London, and then maybe something else. But maybe that's the max you could get, actually. But that'd be very helpful. But like, could they throw in Ridley or Shakir? You know, those guys are very valuable in this format.
Yeah, in a rolling deep type format.
And let's be honest, in some of these, you might not get these pluses that we're adding on, right? These are like the initial offers that you eventually, you know, get to. What about like a Drake May in the 105? Is that not enough? It's not enough. You could add Benson onto that. That could, I think that could be super interesting. Or like a Dak Brian Thomas. I don't think you get more than that, by the way. That's probably the most you'd get, Dak and Brian. You could go to Goff. It would be Goff, Bowers.
Gosh.
Do you think that's possible?
Not in a premium.
Yeah, what's the
what's the
premium?
premium?
Yeah, you're right.
I think it was point.
But let's think about this for a second. If you get zero, wait, does the quarterbacks also get the rushing bonus? Does Lamar also get a point every six yards?
If that's the case, then you should be getting holes.
Okay, so Lamar gets the bonus, then yeah.
Dude,
so
you have two of the prime people to have in a format like this.
Goff and Bowers. I think that's realistic. You know, that does seem realistic.
Mm-hmm.
We could tear down to Mahomes. Mahomes, AJ. I don't like this guy's team. But
631 points in 17 games. That's crazy.
yeah. No, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Stroud tear down. What about Stroud Bucky 106?
Stroud Bucky 106. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, that's like a starting. You might be able to push that as well and ask for like Debo.
Depending on how that person values Bucky, yeah.
Yeah. You could maybe add Debo to that as a throw-in. Baker. I mean, it'd have to be Baker Bijan, but I mean, that just doesn't seem possible. I'll put it there. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's possible. You're probably gonna have to send back.
I'm not in love with
Lamar
that one. Yeah.
and at least DeAndre Swift as like a pawn. That's not gonna happen though. Penix Marv 102.
Perfect. I mean, hell, I'll take Malik Neighbors too.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get Malik. That's the problem. But of course, I mean, would you do Penix Malik and remove the 102?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I still tear down and I get another wide receiver that I need in this, you know.
Okay, I think that's kind of your maxed out at that position. But if we try to tear down from Saquon, I mean, the first name that comes to mind is Bucky Irving. What does that owner have? Let's remind ourselves.
Doesn't have much.
Yeah, but what if we did like Bucky and Achane and then sent Saquon and Henry?
Yep. And get younger at the position.
The issue is you could be giving away the championship there. It extends your window, but you could easily be giving away the championship, you know?
Yeah.
With the way this league... I mean, Derrick Henry must have scored. Oh, my gosh. Okay, how about selling Saquon? Who has, like, the 103? Because we might be able to get, like... How about, like, the 104 plus... I mean, what about the 104, 108, and 109?
For Saquon, yeah, and then what you get hypothetically Omarion, Luther, maybe.
Yeah, that could make sense.
Get 3 first-round picks. Look, I think something like this just makes sense. Like let's just say you go Saquon route without doing Lamar Jackson. That instantly extends that window. Yeah, you get rid of Saquon, but you still have Derrick Henry. You still have who's other people on your team? You have Derrick Henry. You have James Cook, and now you're gonna get a younger wide running back in Omarion, and then maybe 2 other wide receivers. Maybe that's Amika. Maybe that's Luther at the 108, or maybe that's another running back. And you continue to get younger at the position, right? Like that feels like the best and the most ideal route instead of selling Lamar Jackson. I know you can get a haul for Lamar, but I think I just want to keep this quarterback position and then continue to build on these younger rookies because you still have your 26 first.
Yeah,
but I mean, I do understand both routes. I feel like if you can pull off the Saquon one first, that gives you even more of a opportunity to keep Lamar and say, you know what, let's just see what happens.
I definitely understand like your perspective on it. I feel like a combination brings us the best outcome long term.
100%. Like, yeah, if you can tear down from Lamar, tear down, get, you know, Baker, Bijan, you sell Saquon and get 3 firsts. It's like, holy shit, this is still just as good.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean,
I love the idea of like Stroud, Bucky, 106 Debo. The Marvin 102 Penix. Then you combine that with turning Saquon and Derrick Henry into Bucky and Achane. I mean, now you got a team that's got. I mean, we already did the Bucky deal, right? But I mean, you turn Saquon into all those picks, for example, or like I did one here where you turn him into Rice, the 103, and Coker, for example. These, I mean, a combination of these. So we lose Lamar and Saquon. That's the only pieces that we're losing. But in this example, we add Stroud, Bucky, the 106, and Debo, as well as Rice, the 103, and Coker. You know, with how deep his starting lineup is, that just feels... Because I would agree with you if this was a start 9.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So
I think the reason my thing is like, let's just see how far we can stretch it with Lamar rather than
with Saquon?
just selling off stretch it with Saquon, excuse me, rather than having to sell both of these guys and see how we can get. Like if I can get Saquon, if you could do the Saquon and do the Rice and the 103 and get a Marion, be like, okay, I got a wide receiver, I got a running back, and I got younger.
I can see both perspectives for sure.
Like I think it could work out, but obviously Jonas, however way you want to go.
But yeah, it's definitely windows open. I mean, is there any other moves you can think of before? I guess the only other thing I could say is because I wouldn't sell Mark right now, but like DeAndre Swift, trade him for almost. I think DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones and Henry.
Maybe.
If I can pivot from Henry, like for example, if I could go from Derrick Henry and I can pivot that to like a same range but younger. Like if I could get CMC, I would do that in a heartbeat. Personally, I know not everybody agrees, but that would be very hard for me to say no to. If I can turn him into Chuba Hubbard, I would do that right now. If I can turn him into, I mean, that's really where the list stops. So like, it's not in a vast list. Of course, I would say James Cook, Bucky, Taylor, Jacobs, but that's just not realistic. Then with DeAndre Swift, I want any second in any year, or you use him as a pawn in a bigger trade.
Yeah.
And then as far as Aaron Jones, it's the same thing, any second in any year. I don't know, actually. I mean, if with this league's settings, will we not just hold Aaron Jones?
I think it just depends on the landing. If Aaron Jones stays on the Vikings, sure, let's take a risk there. But I think if he resets and goes somewhere else again, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's pretty much how I'd handle this offseason. And I'm open to any questions that you have, Jonah. I would definitely be willing to sell Javonte too if the price was right. I just don't think anyone's giving you anything worthwhile, so you might as well consider him a hold too. But yeah, you don't have much flexibility outside Lamar and Saquon with this team.
Yeah, they did add rookies.
Did they?
Yeah, I just opened it up really quick. No images, but just the name.
Oh, okay, right.
But yeah, Jonah, as you're asking those questions, just to let you know, you will be receiving this within 48 to 72 hours. The customized digital playbook catered to your team, on the Flock Fantasy message system. Obviously, if you don't get that, send us a message on Discord. Let us know if you have any questions on the Discord channel there. But you know how to get in contact with us. All that information is going to be sent through the Flock Fantasy system, a message system. But we appreciate the support, man. Happy birthday. Once again, let us know if you have any last
big happy
questions.
Birthday, man. Do something nice for yourself. I'm sure you already are.
How old you say you were turning? I missed that. 25.
25.
Right.
The big 2-5.
I remember when I was 25.
Do you? That must have been a long time ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago, man.
Yeah, you're old.
What was I doing 6 years ago? What year was 6 years ago?
You were playing Call of Duty, I can tell you that.
2019. Hell yeah, we were playing Call of Duty. We were probably playing Fortnite, squadding out with the boys, yelling at each other. Zach was running naked in the house.
No. That never happened. All right. I think that's probably it. Jonas says, thanks for the advice, guys. Very appreciative of how powerful your knowledge is. I'll hit you up on Discord. No worries, man. We appreciate you big time. Again,
appreciate you.
Happy birthday, man. And, these guys are up next in the queue for tomorrow's stream, which will be dedicated to team reviews. So we'll get through a bunch tomorrow. That's it for today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you soon. Nothing but love.